honest, I've yet to do that as well. So those are the only two things that I'm really not, I haven't been consistent with, but I'm starting to implement it once the first episode drops.
No, that's understandable, and I'm glad that it's here because it's good for people to know what's coming up.
Exactly.
And so, what type of guests do you have, and what does your panel look like? And then I love all the merch. We can talk about the merchandise in a little bit. But I want to talk about your guests and your panel.
So the guests, so my one-on-one guests are people who reflect work ethic, right? So I broke down work ethic into 8 different characteristics. So, for instance, commitment, preparation, dedication, discipline, sacrifice, perseverance, persistence, and then eventually unstoppable, right? So those are 8 characteristics. I'm interviewing 8 different people in my circle who I felt who's demonstrated the highest level of that characteristic, right? And so when you look at those guests, 3 of those guests are artists, right? And if you go to the music tab, you will see the 3 artists that I interviewed out of the 8. And so the first one would be Bobby Krills, right? Bobby Krills is actually the guy, and that's me in the hat. To his left, right? That's with me with short hair. And so that's when, back in 2019 where I, created the music label, and we created this EP, which is like self-motivation, work ethic, right? And so I'm interviewing him, and he's highlighting sacrifice. And so on this soundtrack, I think we have 5 to 6 of the songs out of the 8. So we have 6 out of the 8 songs on the soundtrack, which I own the masters to. So it just made sense. And then when we scroll down, you'll see Mel the Prophet, right? So Mel the Prophet is actually the first episode on commitment. And when I thought about commitment, he's the first person that popped up into my mind because this is a person who I seen when he started his music career, right? And when he started his music career, he's been committed to the process. He's been committed to his craft. And back in 2019, 18, 19 to now, you see every year he's coming out with a new project. Every year, and it gets better, right? His artist development is getting better, right? The full production is getting better. And he just came out with this song called Know Yourself. And it's just divine time. So the crazy thing is 3 years ago, I reached out to him. I'm like, Mel, listen, I want to interview. What do you think? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And then I didn't reach out to him until 3 years later, full circle, right? 2025. And I'm like, Mel, listen, I'm ready. And, I told him about the vision, and I told him since you're an artist, I want to use one of your songs. And he goes, I already got a song. I was like, okay. I was like, well, I want to create a music video. He was like, perfect. I don't have one yet. Right? And I'm like, all right, awesome. I was like, it just worked out. And I think what's most exciting for all of us is that I honestly believe that song, Know Yourself, is going to break him as an artist. And so you get to see, there's a link where it says listen to Spotify. That goes to his Spotify, where obviously the audience can go back and see their work and then become a fan, right, eventually. And then if you scroll down, there's another artist as well, the last artist.
Yeah, we'll go to this one here.
Yep, and then Running Back Boss, right? He is perseverance, right? And when you get to understand his story, he's been through a lot, right? And he's also one of my business partners as well. He actually flew in from Houston, right, to get this in-person interview, and so we could shoot his music video. But when it comes to perseverance, he's been through a lot. He's lost a lot of loved ones, close loved ones in his family, where he actually witnessed them passing away, which, it's hard, and at a very young age. And to see his his growth and his transformation, and not giving up, because I feel like anyone that has been through something like that, I mean, it's justifiable for you to be, a really, you could just go in a different direction and just say, you know what, life isn't fair, right? And he didn't do that. He really, persevered through all that pain and trauma. And if you look at his life right now, he's living the dream.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I finally got the Mel the Prophet Spotify up, and as you can see, we can't see the names of the songs, like New Pain, Help Oneself, Know Yourself, Lo Siento, and Feel.
Yeah.
And then there's a See More button, of course, and then, and so that's, I want everybody to go listen to this, though.
Yeah.
I wanted to show it real quick.
I appreciate it.
There.
But you also see on the bottom of my website, the music plays there as well. And then you could actually go to YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. You could play it, you could stop it, you could, eventually you're going to be able to download the music, buy it.
Yeah, I did get to Mel the Prophets through this button here on your website.
Awesome.
That's how I got to it. But then, of course, it opens like another tab, so I had to.
Yeah. So
there's your website.
Yeah.
You have a lot of you have a 5-star review on Google, so that's always a good thing, because as you are helping so many people over the past 15 years. I've had the opportunity to know Marcus, which is your name as well. Dope podcast. Can't wait for season 2. Being a part of Kicking It with me was something special, super inspirational. People just love it, love you, love everything about it. So that's wonderful. Mm-hmm. The name of the production company, the LLC, is Faith by Me Productions, correct?
That's correct.
And I know that one came before Kicking It With Me podcast. How hard was it, or what was that like, starting off with the production company?
Actually, the production company came later, right? So I'm sorry?
Oh, I get you. No, we're good.
Yeah.
Keep telling us about that.
Yeah. So as I'm putting the podcast together, because the Kicking It With Me was an idea before the production, right? So as I'm putting this, podcast / docu-series, with all these music videos, right? Because if you really think about, what am I really creating here, right? So the umbrella is a podcast, right? And then underneath this umbrella, because the interview isn't just a podcast interview, it's more so like a documentary type of format. It's really a docu-series, right? And so when I understood, like, okay, podcast, docu-series, right? I'm also filming and shooting and directing, right? And executive producing music videos, right? And then with the panels, because the target is women in business, now I'm creating trailers, right? Short films for them, right? And so when I think about all these things, I'm like, wait a minute. I could offer these same things that I'm producing for myself to other people. This whole platform that I'm creating, even with the merch, right? Is not just for me. It's to highlight others. What do I mean by that? That means that this platform is geared towards people who are business owners who